Welcome to the Future Comedy Show, podcast episode 32 with special guest Matt McClowry. How you doing?
Hey, Mike. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good. Yeah. What's up?
Hey, man. Just chilling here in my dining room with the Matt McClowry.
Yeah.
I started out my comedy career booking you.
Oh, yeah.
And then one of my first shows I ever produced, maybe the out of the first 5 shows I ever produced, we did a show at Cody's Landing.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember it vaguely. I remember the show pretty well. Honestly, it was a decent. Yeah, it was a decent show. There was a guy with a big flat top, a lot of gel.
Oh yeah, Hassan. It was just his birthday yesterday.
Oh, cool.
On Tuesday.
Happy birthday, Hassan.
Yeah. That was a fun time. Since then, you've had some comedy accomplishments. You've been on Access TV, live at Gotham.
Gotham Comedy Live, yeah.
You were headlining the Ann Arbor Showcase coming up.
Yeah, Ann Arbor Comedy Showcase next week, April 26th through 28th. Yeah.
And before that, you get to headline our show tonight at Bottoms Up.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
8 o'clock. They got a great venue, perfect for comedy. I think you'll like it a lot. And then a lot of people that really enjoy coming out to laugh.
Nice.
And then Monday we're at the Log Cabin, Tuesday at 702 Bar in Midland, and Wednesday at Jen's Place in Hemlock. It should be a nice time to get down. So you were living in New York, now you're living in LA. How's that treating you?
Oh, yeah, that's okay. I mean, I live in Orange County now, actually.
Oh, yeah?
I moved to, Fullerton after, about a year and a half in Hollywood, you know? Me and my girlfriend, we were living there in Hollywood, and it's we liked our apartment, but I think, traffic and helicopters and, rampant homelessness and, having to... just having to steel yourself to run errands, where it's say going to Ralph's, which is Kroger. If you're, it is Kroger.
It's Kroger?
Yeah, it is Kroger. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that for a fact.
You can use the same. You can use your
same card,
same rewards card.
Yeah,
really? Everything. Yeah. You just because that would just be an ordeal, and then say you wanted In-N-Out burger. Here's what happened. We were getting In-N-Out, because who doesn't like In-N-Out?
Yeah.
And some people say it's overrated, but that's probably because they have to go to one in LA, and then after they wait 45 minutes for their burger, they're like, "This is just a burger." But if you're not in LA, if you're say in Arizona or Texas or any other part of California where the line's not so bad, you're kind of like, "No, yeah." If it's compared to other fast food, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we would always have to, whenever we felt like it, we'd be like, okay, well, we got to get there at 10:30 when they open for the lunch rush. There's going to be the line around the block. And then we did that, and one time we're just at a red light on Sunset, and this homeless woman walks by, and she's like, and at us. And my girlfriend just looks at me, and she's like, we got to get out of here. And I'm like, you're right. And so, yeah, I mean, we moved 38 miles outside of that to Fullerton, which is, just very... Once you pass that county line, there's this film of filth that just kind of disappears.
Yeah.
And it dissipates a little bit in Anaheim around Disney World. There's still a little bit of residual L.A. County. But it's, then all of a sudden you just started to go to noticing things like, I'm driving 10 miles and it's taking 10 minutes. This is amazing. You know? And then, so, and that's, it's we live in this nice community, and it's just our car insurance went down $1,000.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, LA is there when I need it,
Yeah, definitely. What made you move from New York to LA?
Oh, God. I mean, that was just the thing, because the year... It was 2014, right? That was when I did the show at Cody's Landing.
Yeah.
I was saving up money to move, and, here's the thing. In my head, I'd always thought I wanted to, I was more of a New York comic, and there's more stage time in New York.
Yeah.
And, and it was closer to where I lived, and, but I took third in the World Series of Comedy, and one of the weekends was a weekend at Flappers in Burbank, And I went out there and I did like a week of shows and it was really good. And I was like, because in my head I was always like, fuck LA, you know?
Yeah.
But then I went to LA and I'm like, this is kind of all right. And so, but, you know, talking to other people who live both places, like my friend Jesse Pop, Vince Averill, I even met Lori Kilmartin one time. It was the second time I was in LA and they were all like, oh, New York, New York, New York. That's, you know, if you want to grow more as a comic.
Yeah.
So I went to New York and, you know, got a lease, signed a lease in my apartment for like a year and a half, and I was just like, ugh. And I remember, like, at the time I was fantasizing, like, God, it would just be great to just go to LA and do a week of shows at one point just to get out of this fucking place. And as luck would have it, my as my lease was ending, I had met my girlfriend. We were going to get another lease in an apartment in Astoria with our friend Nikki Wright. I don't know if you know her, but we just couldn't get approved because you have to have this, like, you know, ridiculous proof of income in New York, and if you can't meet the, you know, requirement, you have to get a guarantor, and then they have to get and their income has to be like double the amount you had, and it's just a huge pain in the. We got turned down for one. And then my girlfriend was just like, "You just want to move to LA? I don't like it here anymore either." And I'm like, "Yeah, I do actually." So,
that's the best thing about being a comic, the freedom just to go, because no matter where there's comedy.
So we did, and we made a road trip of it. You know, stopped here on our way home, stopped in Missouri to visit my sister. Got to LA, got approved for the first apartment we applied for, and we were there for a year and a half, and then. You know, I was doing comedy in California and going down to like San Diego, and I was in the San Francisco comedy competition, which was really all over Northern California. And then I kind of realized, I'm like, it's not really LA that I'm in love with so much. I like California, but LA is. So, yeah. So then, thus the move to Orange County.
We have a comment here. Michael Matern said, Mac, pride of Dearborn, Michigan. That's you, the pride of Dearborn?
Oh God, no! Michael Mattern is the pride of Dearborn, Michigan.
Oh, he's just shouting himself out. He's like, "This is who I am."
No, he's a firefighter. He's a great man. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, he's we went to high school together. We played football. You know, played football together. Yeah, he's a good people. He's come out and seen me at the now defunct Joey's Comedy Club of Livonia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but no, Mike, good people.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah. And what initially got you started in comedy?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I wasn't good at anything else, and I was just an angry, cynical prick. And, you know, it's always one of the two things I wanted to do, that and wrestling. And my brother was a person who was like, you know, why don't you turn this into a stand-up comedy act? And so, and I procrastinated about it because I knew I wanted to when I was like 18. But, like, when did you how old were you when you started?
I think I was about 24 or 25.
Oh, okay, cool. Because the thing about it was that, like, in my head, I'm a procrastinator, so I rationalized procrastinating by being like, oh, no, nobody wants to see a fucking 18-year-old kid on stage talking about, like, he knows what he's talking about anything. But, I mean, really, I needed to just hone the skill set, because it's a very unnatural thing for me. And I finally did it when I was 21, because once you were 21, you're old enough to be in bars legally. So I'm like, well, I had it. And yeah, I signed up for the open mic night at Mark Ridley's, and I was lucky because I was taking like improv and acting classes at community college, and like I had another student kind of, oh yeah, if you want to do it, I'll do it with you, you know. And so he did. He made it one week, and I came and I saw him, and I saw the other people, and then I made it the next week. And, you know, I've been doing it ever since. And, and here we are doing a podcast in your living room in Saginaw.
We made it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, if anybody doesn't know at home, Matt, you have on the
I'm
spectrum.
autistic. Yeah, I have Asperger syndrome. Yeah.
And when you first started, did you think that was going to be a positive or a negative?
Oh, good Lord, no. Good God, no. Good God Almighty, no. It's still not a positive. It's just because that was like a thing too. It's like I didn't even realize how hard performing was going to be at first, And I mean, to this day, like, there's still things about like making eye contact with people at in the audience that are very unnatural. There's still things about my own comprehension of humor that are very unnatural. Yeah, there's still. I mean, there's like walls that I put up with myself mentally, to the barriers I have toward being funny. I mean. And also, I mean, you know, and like too, like one thing about Asperger's is like having intense focus, narrow interests, and at the time, at the time I started, comedy was probably a huge interest of mine, but you know how it is after you do it for a little while, and you're just like, oh, this fucking comedy stuff, you know?
Yeah, fucking yeah.
Yeah, no. So yeah.
When the initial the honeymoon stage runs, when you've done it a few thousand times, and you know the drive isn't as magical.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's. I mean, to this day, and I mean, on the flip side, it does give me something to talk about. And it is a hook I have, but I do feel like I exist in this gray area where it's like if I talk about it, people come up to me and ask me if I really have it. But if I don't talk about people are like, what the fuck is wrong with that guy?
Yeah. So. But, well, I mean, and that's, that could be, you know, just depending on how you look at it, it could be your biggest strength or it could be, you know, something that... Oh, no problem. Yeah. It could be the opposite.
Oh, yeah, no, it's a huge weakness. It's an incredible weakness. No, I would trade the Asperger's hook in a second to be just a bland white guy.
A bland white guy?
Yeah, no, I would just, no, in a heartbeat. No. So anyway, good. Yeah, I'm glad. As you can see, my improv skills and it's just my comic timing top notch.
Well, from my perspective is it's you have you're very talented at your joke writing, and you're very talented at your delivery.
Oh, thanks.
And I think that sets you apart from a lot of other comedians where you're different, but not in a bad way. You're different where it's unique. I'll remember your act for a long time. I remember seeing you and thinking, wow, this guy's fucking funny as shit.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks. Well, I mean, it's weird because it's like now, like, because I talked about the World Series and like San Francisco comedy competition and stuff too. But whenever I do something like that, and I've gotten to the point where like if I enter a festival and there's a contest, I can be confident that like, oh, I'm going to be a finalist, but I've never won one of those goddamn things in my life. Never. I'm always third or fourth or place. I got second and won one time, and I'm just not the guy who wins it. And like one of the things is too, whenever I look at like the scores, the place where I'm the weakest is always presence, and I'm not exactly sure why. I'm not exactly sure if that's because I'm too committed to the material, or if I'm perceived as not being loose, if it's an energy thing.
Yeah.
I have no goddamn idea, but I just have to accept that for what it is, I guess.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, the comedy contests are what they are. They're just contests. They're
no, it's absolutely
like who was it? Doug Stanhope won the San Francisco Comedy Fest, and who came in second? Dane Cook. Dane Cook had a fantastic career. I don't think contests are really that. I've never won no contest. That's for sure. I can't even get out of the first round of Dr. Grin.
It's so tough, aren't they? Though, yeah. I never actually did that one, so maybe who knows? And I can't really account for anything like that either. I'm not going to make excuses or whatnot.
Is there anything that you'd like to achieve in your comedy career? Is there any aspirations that you'd like to do?
A living? I don't know.
A living?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just funny. Yeah, it's like I was thinking about that the other day. I didn't think I was going to be like a millionaire overnight, but I thought 30 grand in 14 years seemed reasonable. But not quite there yet today. No, it's not really happening yet. It's probably why I have a suitcase full of Asperger t-shirts in my trunk right now.
Which anybody can buy right now. Let's get them over the hump. Let's fucking sell these Asperger fucking shirts.
So if you're at the show tonight, I will be selling them after the show. Let's get the pitch out of the way early.
Yeah. But there's a sacrifice that you can be made where you get to do something that you love, and you may not make that much money at it right now, and you never know when something may pop.
Oh yeah.
No,
I
but
don't,
it's better than being
don't get me
in a
wrong.
fucking
I
office.
don't love doing this.
Oh, you don't love the comedy?
Good God, no, not anymore. No, this is fun. This is fun. Chit chatting, podcast, bullshitting with with another comic, with another funny person. That's the best. That's always been the best part of it. And I mean, I think that's the thing I miss most today is like because the camaraderie, and all my like close friends are still out there doing it, but they're spread out, and I don't get to see everybody as often as we used to, and it's not like when we was before, when we go to the open mic at Joey's and do the, and do, and go to the bar after and have a pizza and just, just riff endlessly. God, that's, if anybody is thinking about watching this, about getting into comedy, that's the best part of it. Like by a long shot. I wouldn't have friends if it wasn't for comedy. So that's what I love about it. But I mean, I like, and that's the other thing is too. I enjoy performing, but it's just so like, especially for me, like being really having an act and like getting it to work and being committed to it. It's very hard for me because after flailing about for like a long time, not only was I became aware of what worked for me, like I became very aware of what didn't and what would never work for me on stage.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can get outside your comfort zone. That's good, but I mean, maybe sometimes I can feel a little creatively boxed in. And I mean, basically, and so it's hard, and it's just hard for me to think of funny shit to say. That's the absolute truth. I'm not great off the cuff. I don't like most of the like I'm told I'm a funny person to be around, but that's just because I'm a freak who acts like an alien. But but I'm not like some witty, snappy, whatever. And so basically, like I generate 5 to 10 new minutes of material every year, and that's the part that I really enjoy doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not the shit I've said 7,000 times already, but it's just hard. What can I tell you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is not a business for any faint of heart or anybody who thinks it's going to be easy.
Oh, and
because
fuck that part of it too, by the way. That's like, and if that's my advice to anybody else too, either is like, if you're like a socially awkward person, if you're shy, if you don't think you're good enough, if there's any way you can shut those parts of your personality off and just plow ahead, then you've got to do that, because this is just 100% hustle. It's a 100% being able to take no for an answer. It's 100% being comfortable badgering people for spots. There's 100% comfortable putting yourself out there, booking yourself, and I mean, presenting a competent face, marketing yourself. I don't ever think, I'm not ready to do something, or I just need a couple more things. You want to do things in this before you're ready for them, because there'll be times, there were times for me where I decided, now I'm ready to headline, now I'm ready to, but then it's like, oh great, now get in the line,
Yeah.
Where I could have gotten a line a lot earlier and just, and wait, and hone stuff while I was waiting, but now I'm all the way at the back, and it's just, I don't know.
Well, for the adversity that you faced, right now you're headlining one of the top clubs in the state, Ann Arbor Showcase. You got Big Tommy's this weekend. You're in the Future Comedy Show. Yeah. So you're on the top of the world for a lot of people who don't know the rest of it. Do you think it's? Well,
I mean, that's the other thing too, is that I would just be like, the thing is too, like when I started comedy, it's just like that level of success was kind of all I was aiming for. And a lot of people get bitter and, stuff at that point because they see the next level. There's always a rung on the comedy ladder that's a little higher, unless you're like Kevin Hart,
Yeah.
But it's just like, today is now. I just feel like, oh yeah, this is the next couple weeks are great, But it's just like it's not every week,
Oh yeah.
That's what sucks. It's like I can't you can't work every single week, and especially today where it's so competitive and you're up against people. Everybody's going back into stand up, and people who never did stand up are doing stand up.
Oh yeah,
and,
you just see actors show. Jake the Snake's doing it. Ron Jeremy's out
it's
there.
about selling tickets. So,
it is.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe they don't have the joke writing skills or anything, but the people that are acting, they're definitely got
there's presence.
They know how to get on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, I don't begrudge anybody any of that. I don't think anybody should ever begrudge a comedian who's taking a spot that wasn't yours in the first place. That's the thing where if you get bitter, you need to check yourself sometimes. I think.
Like, so do some people do you find out that they think that there's actually like a line to get into, but there's really not a line? Like, people are like, oh well.
No, I think it's just a vague imaginary thing. Where I think some people look at it like a union job and think because they've done it X number of years that they're entitled to a thing, or think because they've done well X number of times, or or if they have, or if they can headline, that they should headline, that kind of thing,
Okay. We have a question from Colton and Cole, funny comic out of Indiana. Question: how does one book a bar tour for venues that don't normally book comedy? Is that a question for you, or is that a question for me?
Lord, no. I've never booked a damn thing on my own in my life.
The question, Colton, I would say contact the bar, find out who the entertainment manager is, or whoever books the entertainment, and then have something to say to them when you call. Say what you're gonna do. Tell them about how the show is gonna be produced. Tell them how long it's gonna be. Tell them what you expect to get paid. And then deliver. Do a good show, have good sound, have good lighting, and then you do one good show, and then you build upon that. Nobody starts off with booking a tour. You start with one step at a time. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how anybody did. I read the Kevin Hart book, and he started off and he did his shows, and then when he got into clubs, he was touring. Mm-hmm. He went out, handed out flyers to people individually. He got a team together. He built his team. His team built it. And then he just kept on doing it, small steps at a time. There's no magic way of booking a tour right out of the thin air. Just start one at a time.
Mm-hmm. Did you see Creed?
Creed?
Yeah.
Oh, the movie?
Yeah.
I have not.
Oh, you gotta see it. One step at a time, one punch at a time. That's from Creed.
Yeah, that's what Sylvester Stallone and
yeah. Michael B. Jordan.
I think, is that on Netflix?
It's on Hulu. It's on Hulu right now.
All right. Well, I do have some Hulu, don't I? Yeah, I do. Gotta check with Serena. Do I have Hulu? Yes, I do. Okay. But yeah, that's a good question, Colton. As somebody who books a lot of bar shows, I mean, I think that's all you're trying to do is provide value, and realize that comedy is not. I mean, to us, comedy is an art. It's something to be taken very seriously. But to the people on the other end, we're just people who sell beer and burgers. So you got to be able to talk to your venue in that terms. You can't go there thinking that they're going to care about your art or what your set is or what you're about. You got to talk numbers, because if you talk numbers with these people, that's what they care about. They'll do comedy one night, they'll do trivia another night. Shit, they'll have people doing drag shows. It doesn't matter what it is. They just want to make money.
Yeah.
So if that's that'd be your best bet. Is just learn the language of bar owners.
One of my favorite moments in my career was doing a casino run up north, and the first night of it, you have to drive from one end of Traverse City to the other to do this casino that's on, very small casino that's on the reservation, the Indian reservation, and you get there, and I remember getting there and thinking, oh, this is going to be a nightmare, it's going to be awful. And I get in there, and there's the room where it's going on, there's a few people sitting there, and I'm just like, oh, well, this isn't great, but I can work with this. This is enough people. This can be a show.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, once trivia ends, we're going to have the comedy show in about, 15 minutes. And then when trivia ended, everybody got up, but there were two girls there who came and watched every week, and one of them had said, it messaged the comics on Facebook and said, do you want to play trivia with us? And I was like, good God, no, I don't want to play. But thank God I didn't, too, because if I had talked to them, I would have exhausted my whole set.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not doing material for 30 minutes that night. I have to engage somehow.
Yeah.
And then it was even the worst part, because there was like a Keno or whatever game, bingo, in the hall, behind in an adjacent room.
You can hear
that got out during the show, and then a crowd walked through the showroom that the two people were watching me in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anybody ever like want to hang out after the show, like that you like they just meet you and they're like, do you want to like hang out? Do they just like?
Yeah, usually, fortunately, with this person, not really, but like sometimes every once in a while somebody does, but then they find out like, oh. Ugh, really? And like I really remember one time there was literally a show in Spring Lake where it was me and my friend Russ Brown, and there were two women after the show who like we were just hanging out at the bar waiting to get paid, and they started talking to us. And one woman after about like 10 minutes or so, actually, she just says to me, and I haven't been talking really. She's just like, I liked you more on stage because you were more confident on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, that's the same way I am. I'm more confident on stage than I'm ever. I mean, I'm doing comedy. My life's been flipped. I don't go out anymore. I don't like the nights that I used to go out and drink with my pals and do that. I'm now working, at night doing comedy.
Yeah,
and then during the day, everybody's working. So now I'm just like sitting at home, and I'm actually becoming more introverted because I'm just like in my little shell. And then I go out for a little bit and I see people, and then kind of go back.
Big time. Yeah, absolutely. I know it's like from like the first 10 years of comedy or so too. I also had like it should be the opposite, but but maybe it's because it was before streaming. But I had a lot of pop culture blind spots too, and stuff with TV and everything. Because everything that everybody was watching, I didn't watch because I was going out every night. Yeah. So I wasn't up on everything, and I think that's common.
It definitely happens. It's an interesting life because people think that it's all glamorous, and as we talked about today, there's a lot of dark spots that are there. Especially if you go somewhere and you do a gig and maybe they don't pay you, or the show nobody shows up, two people, or the crowd was so wasted that they they didn't listen. I had that happen to me once where I did a show and I was hosting, and they wanted to take over the hosting duties from me. They're like, no, let me host it. And I'm like, they were just audience members. I was like, get the fuck out of here.
No, it's hilarious. Like I remember, I was at a comedy club again. It was Joey's also, the now defunct Joey's, which is that's a recurring theme you come back to when you tell nightmare stories about comedy and say that place isn't around anymore. How did that happen? And then like a guy, I was emceeing and it was going well. It was like near the tail end of like my emceeing run, and the guy comes up to me in the middle of the show and he's got one of those, what is that like handkerchief? It's like called a kafaya or something. He's like a hip. He's like kind of an LA looking dude.
Yeah,
he's got like the long hair and the beard, and he's like, "Hey man, I'm like kind of a comedian too." I'm like, "No, you're not." And he's like, "I'm a performer too." And he's like, "I was wondering if I could do a magic trick during the set. It would really impress my girlfriend's here and her mom's here, and that would really impress them." I'm like, "Yeah, no, I can't do that because
I'll get fired."
But then, like, I was the asshole to that guy.
Yeah.
Not the guy who wanted to be a performer on a show he paid to watch. I mean, this is the only thing where you can go, like, you wouldn't buy tickets to, like, WWE and say, yeah, I'm going to jump in the ring now. I mean, people do, but, it doesn't end well for them.
That's what blows my mind about people. They come to a comedy show, and then if they pay a ticket, and then they talk, and you tell them to be quiet, and they're, like, all mad at you. You're like, you're the one that paid to be here. You're not getting your money back.
Well,
just listen.
That's always good to check out comedy club Yelp pages to see with the hecklers who didn't learn their lesson, They got mad at us for laughing. Everybody else was laughing, and you're the only people they kicked out. Yeah, I don't think you were just laughing.
You have fun with hecklers? You got a good heckler story?
God, no. I don't have fun with them at all. Like I said, I'm not I'm not clever. Like, I just have to, like, I have to sit down and think about everything. I take shit literally. Every once in a while, something, something's funny, something pops. I'm trying to, God, I do, like, yeah, I do remember, like, there was a time in North Carolina where there was, like, it's 10, like, and I love the South, but I comedy after 10:30 in the South shouldn't happen. There shouldn't be any late shows in the South. No.
Yeah, they get too fucked up? Or
yeah, they get too fucked up, and, you're already working, But, like, and I had a friend of mine who had seen me at Charlie Goodnight's in Raleigh, and she'd become a fan, and she was, like, coming out to watch me. And then I was at this other lesser club, and I don't even know if it's still around anymore. But there was like a table up front, and the guy talks to me a little, and I just bomb completely. And during the headliner set, he falls asleep, and he throws up on himself. And so the headliner addresses it, as you do, because you have to. And I think the puking, everything else was fine, but throwing up on the floor was the point where they had to say, "Okay, well, you gotta get out of there." And, like, he stood up and he actually balled up his fists,
he's gonna fight,
he's gonna fight the headliner. And I think the good thing about that was the point with the set that I had gone poorly, where I said, "Wasn't me,"
Yeah,
if that's happening at the show, it's not really my fault.
Yeah, well, that's the thing that the club has to be responsible for. Is if people are way out of hand like that, they gotta fucking go, because if they don't move them, I mean, like you were saying, it's just gonna ruin the show, and then
ruin the show for everybody else,
and then people aren't gonna come back. They're gonna say, "Oh, well, that was unless you fucking hand them their ass, you know what I mean, make them look stupid as shit." And
it's one of the things I love about say Ann Arbor, by the way. Is that was, and I don't want to tell tales out of school, because Joey's was an amazing club for a long time.
Yeah,
it's just they got some horrible management in the late stage of their life. That Jimmy John's manager or something. Nobody.
Jimmy John's manager.
Nobody knew the first thing, but Ann Arbor, I guess apparently they had gotten more business as a result of Joey's closing, and they had incidents, and one of the bartenders told me that after kicking people out repeatedly, a recurring theme of kicking people out was, they never used to kick us out at Joey's.
Yeah,
I'm just like, well, this isn't Joey.
And that's why, and that's definitely, that's what's gonna happen. If the product gets fucked up, it won't happen. That's just a whole thing. You're selling a production. Mm-hmm. If the production's all fucked up, then people are going to do it. Mm-hmm. So if you move to LA and you're at this level, you're trying to break through to the next level. Mm-hmm. You have any advice for anybody who wants to just get up to the headline Ann Arbor showcase? Just to get to the level that you're at.
Grind, man. Grind. You just hustle, You have, call bookers, get on stage as much as possible, write as much as you can, find a system that works for you. But also, I mean, this is important for me too, would also be that, write, and take out stuff, if something is if you have a new thing that works, put it in your act, but it's polish that act, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do see people throwing things away or not using things that are working, where it's I mean, you should have as much material as humanly possible, but it's weird. I have had things in the past where somebody who's at a feature level or something is I'm working on my new hour, or whatever, or my new album, and you're but you're taking so much good. I mean, if you have 2 albums worth of stuff, I mean, you could put that into a fucking,
into one good one.
Yeah, just wham.
And that's kind of the debate right now with all the people that are coming out with albums every single year.
Yeah.
Kind of like Louis, people would go, well, if you would just wait, another 6 months, it'd be the fucking greatest album of all time.
Yeah, and that's a great thing if people are paying to see you. But I mean, that was the thing for me and it also, I mean, I will say that maybe it took me a little longer to get up to for me, I felt like it was interesting because it took me a long time to get from MC to feature. It didn't take me as long to get from feature to headlining in a lot of clubs.
Yeah.
Because like by that point I was able to put together like a really impressive feature set, and also not impressive, just a solid feature. But I mean, with not a lot of fat on it. And the thing is that, and I wasn't a natural MC per se either.
Yeah.
So the feature spots suited me a lot better.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say to people, and I mean it's just like don't turn any shows down. Don't do things. I mean, up to a point. You can start turning stuff down up to at a certain point. But I mean, it's don't be like people are too stupid, or that crowd, or on the flip side, like that crowd's too alternative, they won't get me. It's like anything.
Yeah.
You can learn something from any crowd, even if that's like, fuck those people, I'm never doing this again. At least give it a shot.
Oh, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And that was kind of this. That's a advice I hear from a lot of people. Is like my buddy Nick Guerra. He said, just keep saying yes, and keep saying yes until your calendar's full, and then you can start being picky. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Then you say, all right, and then by that time, if you're doing it. But if you're just saying no because you don't like it, then you're sitting at home fucking watching Lost, 9 seasons of Lost. You're not going to get any better.
Yeah, I've always been willing to do just about anything.
Well, I'm excited that you're doing our shows this week. I mean, they're awesome audiences. They're fucking people that are there to laugh. They're excited. The crowd tonight, they can be a little bit rowdy, but they're fucking fun, and they're always happy to be at the show. They're grateful to have a good show every week. Thursdays at Bottoms Up.
Okay. All right. Okay.
One last thing about LA. What's your favorite club out in California? In California,
I don't have a favorite club in California.
No, none.
No, I never perform at any of them frequently enough to have a favorite. I've performed at the Comedy Store. I've performed at the Laugh Factory. I got to perform at the Improv, Flappers in Burbank.
Oh yeah.
I've featured there, and I really enjoyed it because it was like it's at a Burbank's a mall, and it's the most.
I've been to that club.
It's like Bill Burr did a guest spot in front of me, which was amazing. It was terrifying, but it was amazing.
They put that on your bio. Bill Burr opened up for you.
Oh, yeah. No, that's not. But he, that was just like a thing too, because he was so cool about it. He was the same, because he's like, "Hey, you mind if I do some time in front of you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no, it's totally cool." But he didn't cut into my time or anything either. And and the fact that thank God he was just like working out a new set in front of people who didn't know who he was, because I was actually able to have a decent set after him, which was like a huge feather in my cap, just from like a mental
Yeah, you're rolling with one of the best in the game.
Yeah, but I mean. Yeah, and the reason he does spots there is because it's like the road, It's not a Hollywood, type audience, and like I get that vibe from seeing some of those clubs too, where like people are just kind of biding their time, hoping somebody famous walks in eventually.
Yeah, in Burbank or
in Hollywood. In Comedy Store and everything, absolutely. But no, I mean, and I've gotten to San Diego. I've gone down to. I've got a spot. I'm headlining a show at the Madhouse Comedy Club in San Diego. It's on a Monday. The Monday when I get back. It's May. Is that 8th? I want to say 8th. May. I hope it's May 8th. But yeah, just if you're in San Diego, knock on wood, yeah, come check me out at the Madhouse on Monday the 8th. Sacramento, Laughs Unlimited in Sacramento. I liked. I performed around the Bay Area a bit for the San Francisco comedy competition. Big fan. I don't know. I mean, really, God, my favorite club out on the west side of the country is it's probably the friggin' Seattle. Yeah, what's the name of the Comedy Underground in Seattle. I'm looking to get back there soon. Hopefully, he offered me a date, but it was the Ann Arbor one, so it didn't work out. There's something else. Oh yeah, Pechanga. Yeah, the comedy club at Pechanga Casino. I will be performing at also.
Where's that at? That's like some
Temecula. Yeah, Temecula.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah.
I'll be headlining that the weekend. The same week as the San Diego one. It'll be Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I stayed in Temecula before.
Yeah, it's on. It was. I just got an email plugging myself from Spotify because I'm one of the few people who follows me on Spotify.
Yes, follow Matt on Spotify and buy his shirt, Asperger's.
Get me on. Yeah, request me on SiriusXM. My Sound Exchange checks are getting a little small.
Yeah, how much you get for a check for like that?
Oh God, it varies. It's just progressively less and less. It's just. I mean, I was on a great label. I mean, the recording quality was really good. Is amazing. It was a guy. I can't remember the sound engineer, but he was a guy. He was in Seattle and he recorded Macklemore's albums.
Really?
Yeah. My producer David Drozen. He recorded Richard Pryor and Brian Regan's first album.
No shit.
Yeah. So I mean, it was very, very cool. My performance, could have been better in spots, but especially now, because especially when you look back on it and you've got things on it, they're like, oh, I still do that, but it's so much better. And then I thought you think of a thing right after.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, please, request, because it's like, I remember the first one was a few hundred, and then there's, that, and you're like, wow, but then you look at the taxes that get taken out, and then they get played less, and then mine gets played less and less. Which I wish I got played more. And that's another lesson. If it's a lot of times it's really hard to work clean in comedy, but for something like that, they're starved for clean content.
Oh yeah.
So like I see, like, for example, Andy Beningo. I see it on there
everywhere.
Yeah.
Andy Beningo's everywhere.
Yeah,
he's actually on the show Wednesday. No, not the next Wednesday with Bill Baranke. He's good friends with Bill.
Okay.
So you're here at Jen's Wednesday, and then he's there the next week. He's going to do a guest spot. Actually, before we leave, this is a description of you on uproarcomedycds.com /shop Matt McClowry Uncomfortable. So if you guys want to check out a CD, this is his description, and it says, Matt McClowry is a tall, clean-cut comedian out of Detroit. His stand-up is smart, analytical, full of unexpected leaps of logic, and delivered in a deep, distinctive deadpan. He's funny and engaging. With a voice for radio and movie star looks, McClowry can be intense and a bit intimidating. Then it cuts off there. How do you? That's a pretty good description of you, huh?
It's certainly flattering. I think it was actually when I recorded the album in Seattle. My friend Brett Hamill was my feature that weekend. He's also a writer, and he did a little interview profile of me beforehand, and I think he wrote. Pretty sure all of that. I asked people if I could cobble my bio together because I have a hard time talking about myself.
Yeah, I hate talking about myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, the movie star looks, you're like, fucking goddamn, look at me. All right. But once again, if you want to check us out, we're going to be at Bottoms Up tonight at 8 o'clock with Louis D. Michaels hosting. And all you got to do is call down there for reservations. Usually it's about full. So if you haven't made your reservations yet, you should call. I'm not sure what the number is. Or you can text them on their Bottoms Up page on Facebook. Besides that, thank you, Matt. I appreciate you coming out.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to a good week. We'll see you guys tonight.